back to my channel. I am Lizzie. In today's tutorial, we will making a super cute summer mini skirt together. It's got an adorable flare silhouette with 8 panels sewn together and a zipper on the side. The pattern will be the first link in the description below. Print your pattern at 100% scale. You can print only the first page first and use this test square to make sure that you print at correct scale. Lay out those sheets side by side, tape them together, and then cut out your pattern pieces. I am using printed polyester satin today. You can use whatever light to medium weight fabric you like. Here are some samples that I made with crepe, silk jacquard, and linen. Alright, so once you got your fabric all ready, fold it in half along the straight grain and then lay out your pattern pieces so that the straight grain on the pattern lines up with the actual straight grain on the fabric. Then go ahead and cut out your fabric pieces. And remember, since the fabric is folded, you'll end up with mirrored pieces. So you have 2 pieces for the center front, 2 pieces for the side front, 2 for the side back, 2 for the center back, and 2 pieces for the waist facing. Oh, and don't forget to cut 2 pieces of interfacing for those waist facings too. Now let's start putting the skirt together. First up, grab those center front pieces and place them side by side, making sure that the center front touch each other. Now let's add in the 2 side front pieces. Bring in one of the side back pieces and put it next to the side front piece. Hold on to the other side back piece for a moment. Now slide in the 2 center back pieces, making sure that they connect at the center back line. And then put back that last side back piece next to the center back piece. Then you should have 8 pieces aligned next to each other to create a panel like this. There are also little notches on the sides to help guide you attaching them correctly. Once everything lined up, pin those pieces together and get ready to sew. Now let's prepare the waist facing. Place the interfacing on top of the waist facing with the wrong sides together. Iron it down to fuse it to the facing. That's gonna give our waistline area some stability and structure. Then overlock the sides and bottom edges and sew them together at one side. With the right sides together, pin the waist facing to the waistline of the panel and get ready to sew them together. Don't forget to under-stitching, it is so important. It's gonna help prevent the facing from rolling outward. And once that's done, give it a quick press. Alright, now onto the zipper. There are several ways to do this, but in this tutorial I will use a technique that completely covers the zipper teeth. So first we will mark where the zipper should end. On this mini skirt, you can simply use the zipper length you have on hand. It should end at least around the hip level so you can actually wear it on. With the right sides together, let's sew up that side seam. So we're gonna use the longest stitch length to basting stitch from the top to the zipper end. And then switch back to the normal stitch length for the rest of the seam. So let's take the zipper, place it face down, touching the wrong side of the garment, and then pin it in place so that the teeth are centered on the basting stitch. Okay, now this is so important. While you pinning the zipper onto the garment, you have to keep those teeth aligned with the center of the stitch all the time and pin every few centimeters along the length of the zipper to hold it tightly in place. Then stitch it down from top to bottom. I suggest you to use a zipper foot just to make your life easier. Okay, start to stitch at the top on the left side and sew down to the entire length of the zipper until you reach the zipper stop. Rotate the garment to make a short stitch here and then rotate it again and continue to sew along the zipper until you reach the top again. So here's how it should look like. Take your seam ripper. If you don't have it, a small scissor works just fine. Move the blade through the middle of the basting stitch and then break the threads to expose the teeth of the zipper underneath. I indeed very like this method because it is so clean and it's giving the invisible zipper similar look. Now we need to attach the facing to the side seam. We're gonna fold the facing edge to the wrong side by 1 cm and pin it to the zipper tape. Then make a stitch right on the top of the seam line to attach everything together. On the other side seam, hand tuck through the facing layer to the side seam allowances of the skirt to ensure that the waist facing remains in place and doesn't move out of alignment. And lastly, let's finish up that hemline with a baby round hem technique. Fold the fabric edge toward the wrong side by 1 cm. Make a tiny top stitch around 2 to 3 mm. And then trim the excess seam allowance as close as the stitching edge as possible. And then roll the hem up again to create a tiny fold. Stitch another straight line on top of the first one. And there you have it. The skirt is done. You could also use French seam instead of overlocking the side seams for a more professional finish. As I did on this sample, you could also use bias tape to finish the waistline instead of having the waist facing. I have made many versions of it and I have to say that this is my most favorite things to wear during summer. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me until the end. Don't forget to tag me at Lizzie Pattern if you decide to make one because I would love to see your versions of it. Okay guys, happy stitching and I will see you next time. Bye!